Hey, it's Ed O'Keefe, and I'm sitting in the backyard, and we are about to start another episode of the Ed O'Keefe Show. Just got back from Colorado with Jesse Itzler, Mark Brown, and a great crew of guys climbing mountains and my buddy Rick Steele. I'll tell you a funny story. And now I feel like I gotta name everybody. You got Kevin and Adam and Nick. We had a great one. Oh, I think I started talking about this a few episodes ago about some of the training I was doing and how you got to have scary goals. Well, this was scary in prep work, and I'm going to have to actually talk about it on a separate podcast. But if you ever want to do something really fun and really cool, go check out in Manitou Springs, Manitou Springs, right outside Colorado Springs, this thing called the Incline. It's 2,700 feet of climb in elevation, and it doesn't sound hard. It's ridiculously hard, and it's very, very steep. And I did it a total of 3 times, 2 on Friday, 1 on Sunday, and on Saturday we did a bunch of cool stuff. So I'll tell you, we climbed a different mountain, which was very hairy and crazy and scary. And I'll talk about that on a separate podcast. But today, we got my main man, Tommy Powers. Now, Tommy Powers is a really cool dude. I've known Tommy for a long time, and he is just straight up ninja when it comes to generating traffic and sales from YouTube. Now, you may be wondering why so many episodes about traffic and e-commerce. Well, we have our event coming up September 25th, 26th, and if you are listening at past this time, just go to trafficmasterylive.com or check us out at edokeefeshow.com to see what new cool stuff we have going on. But Tommy will be a keynote speaker there. So what you're about to listen to is actually 8 minutes of him being on a panel, and you get a good glimpse of his brilliance by being on the panel. In Nashville, he'll be speaking for about 45 to 60 minutes. And I'll put him on another panel because people will always have questions at these things. But he's going to be talking about I'm not going to tell you. So if you're in business, you have an e-commerce site, or you just want to learn about cool stuff and how these channels work so maybe you can start your own business, check this out. It's 10 minutes of your life, and I guarantee you're going to learn something really, really cool. So, all right, that's it. Enjoy Mr. Tommy Powers.
There's really 2 things I know I heard a lot with video. 2 main things for me with video that have been transformative is sequencing. So we use this technique called objection stacking. So basically, in essence, what we're doing is we're trying to determine through customer feedback, communication, comments, emails, support, whatever we can to get what are the big objections of why people don't buy. And then we're using those messages, remarketing, to overcome those objections. And that's it's crazy. This was really, really.
Can you give us an example of how you use it for a certain product?
Perfect example was, matter of fact, Mark
Stockman
introduced me to Organifi. He introduced me to Drew. Oh, so one of the things we did with those guys was price and taste. So we would run this ad on price. Drew is in this video. He's in his PJs with these boxes, all of this Organifi behind him. And he's basically telling people, try it because we know you'll love it. Let us give you 50% off because we want you to try it because we know you'll love it. And then the taste objection was, let us send you a free sample because we know when you taste it, you're going to love it. So that's kind of like an example of how, you can use that.
I would say it's a retargeted audience, right?
So retargeted.
What type of retargeted audience?
So you've been to the website, you did not convert. Oh, so one of the things that was really good with that, something I've carried over a lot. I actually learned this from Six Pack Shortcut guys. Actually, Justin, he's probably not in here. Justin Brooke mentioned it before, but I never really did a lot of it. Six Pack Shortcuts team really taught me was time on site and how to set it up with Google Analytics. So we just basically was able to go in Google Analytics and then layer session duration greater than, maybe like a minute or 2 minutes. I think it might have been a minute or a minute and a half, so like 60 or 90 seconds. So it would be, you came to the site, you didn't convert, but you was on the page at least 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Then it would fire. And the objection part, like really converted well, but then when we layered on that session duration thing, it literally like double the convert. It was crazy.
Wow.
So that's something we use even right now. One of the campaigns we got running right now, where it's you be on the site at least 2 minutes. We only retarget you if you've been on page at least 2 minutes. You can set that up real easy in analytics. And you can then push that audience into AdWords, and then you can use that across all of the channels. Yep.
Awesome. Cool. Let's give it up. Tommy!
One more thing with video. I didn't really hear. I maybe missed a couple sessions, but I didn't hear anyone talking about this. I think this is really important because I'm kind of the guy that's, where the puck is going and not where the puck is at. Programming is becoming a big thing. You guys are paying attention. Facebook Watch, they're investing heavily in content. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, all of these big tech companies are investing heavily in content, but more specifically, program content. So almost like TV shows that they're basically taking that. And so what we're seeing is a trend so again, with the sequencing, we're seeing this trend where, and a lot of people alluded to, having these multiple videos or whatever, but there's also this trend where we're seeing more of programming style content. So instead of saying, I'm going to have multiple videos, I'm going to have a message, let's take a VSL, for example. I could take that same psychology and bust it into like 5 or 6 videos, maybe of 5 minutes each, telling this story, and then I'm tying together almost like how the TV shows do. It's like when they go off, the next episode, they like, whet your appetite, and it's like, oh my God, I gotta tune in. So we're starting to see a lot of this kind of happening, and I think a lot of that is because the big tech companies are pushing the user behavior is following what the companies are pushing, and you see a lot of them invested in content, more programmable type of stuff, being digital, and I'm like getting a lot of like really solid data around there. Like I think it's gonna be like the next wave, and like I think we're about to change the game with it.
So in other words, when you're saying so for example, like come on Facebook, right?
Say that again.
Are you talking about specifically on Facebook?
I'm talking about video, period.
Yeah, period, right? So
YouTube, Facebook.
Did any of you guys see the Tom versus Time miniseries? Like 4 people? Oh my gosh, it was so good. Did you see that?
Yes.
It was like 12-minute long episodes of like, instead of like a 30 to 60 minute, like 30 by 30 or behind the scenes with Tom Brady, it was like 12 to 14 minutes, and it was phenomenal. Like you'd fall in love with the person so you're thinking the next level of like brand building or customer acquisition and engagement is create those 7 to 12 minute, 5 to 12 minute like little videos and start building out a channel out of it, right?
Not even necessarily building out a channel with it, but just from a human psychology, we're taking advantage of human psychology, kind of like with YouTube. So kind of how I got my start in the YouTube thing was taking the VSLs, uploading them on YouTube directly, and then buying ads to them.
Yeah.
So the reason why I did that was because I saw an ad on display. You guys remember End of America from Agora?
Yeah.
They had a display. I was on a website, and I clicked the display ad, and it took me to YouTube, and I was like, I guess maybe it's working, because the video at the time had like 700,000 views or something. But I didn't know if it was a public video too, so I didn't know if maybe it had organic reach or whatever. But my thought at the moment was, why not put that on YouTube? Because people are already consuming this type of content, long form, and that's what we did. So I took this guy to Breakup Doctor, and we had like an hour, 10-minute VSL, and it just killed it. And then I showed it to Stockman. We used the same model, did very well. Yeah. And then I used it with Organifi, and we just blew that up. So again, it was really leveraging human behavior that's already existing.
Yeah.
But I see that changing. And the tech companies are driving that because they're investing in all of this content and they're pushing a lot of this programming, and the users are gonna adapt to that. So like, where is user behavior going? And then I wanna just like get on top of that.
Yeah.
So taking that Tom Brady model and then using it as a sales tool.
Right. Like, let me ask a question. Like, so like for example, like Lady Boss, right? It's your brand, right, guys? I'm just making sure I'm not screwing it up. Like, I don't know much about, like, right now, the current framework is Facebook Live, I'm live, or I'm in a studio and I'm doing a presentation, right? Whereas, like, Gary Vee has a like, you're watching his life.
Perfect example.
You know, in a thing. So you're like, so for example, I'll just take it and apply it to No Foods. What you're saying is like, who are our people? We got Spartan Racers, we got Tough Mudders, we got us, like, why not create a mini series that has nothing about the food? The food is like an added benefit, like, oh yeah, you know, we're following Colin O'Brady's doing, do you guys any know who Colin O'Brady is? All right, cool. Well, this is a great example. Like, this is a great example of like, he's famous in his small market, but no one knows who he is. But he's a young guy, he's an amazing guy, blah, blah, amazing TED Talk, summited the 7 summits plus North and South Pole or some crap like that, like in less than 132 days. So he holds the 2 world records. And now he's doing another world record, which is in this summer, he's going to summit every single, highest peak at every single state in the United States, right? Like, No Food should actually sponsor the whole mini-series.
100%.
And like, you know, he's eating these cookies and whatever. So that's what you're saying, you
That's
believe
exactly.
that's going.
Exactly.
Well, who just said that? Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, I was thinking like Red Bull, but you invert it, where Red Bull did the videos after they did the brand was out there, and then they started creating all these cool ass videos. Yeah, totally, man. I'm with you. I love it.
I'm almost talking about like scripting this.
Yes.
Not like super, but it's almost kind of like getting writers who write these
Dramas and shit. Like with the hook
and
at the
using
end.
it as a mechanism to sell, and then you driving consumption with remarketing. Because what you're doing is, if you see video 1 and then see video 2, I can show you an ad to drive you to video 2.
Right.
And I'm basically pushing you down a funnel.
Love it.
And then I'm leveraging user behavior that people are already used to. I think it's like, that's literally what I'm working on right now. I think it's about to be like next level.
Give him a microphone, would you? Just give him your mic, and then this will be nice and cute.
So let's say there's like 6 videos, okay? So they see the first video, you brought cold traffic to it. It's kind of like a mini series broken to pieces. So you're running ads to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then you're just asking them for like the call to action or money at number 6?
Yes.
Or who knows? Because
Yes,
actually you could be
but-
sponsoring the whole damn
correct.
thing throughout the whole thing, because that's how users are like, that's why podcasts are going to consume.
But 6 is like straight, like I'm super aggressive conversion, you know what I mean? But the trailer, there's really more like a trailer style video that's seeding the message to get them to.
Yeah, you're making this up, man. You're just
Yeah.
making this whole thing up. We're just, because we're not in a negative way, like we're just making it up. We don't know yet. Like, you're seeing this is where you think it's going. Here's the
This
series.
is
Boom.
actively what I'm working on
Yeah,
right
I
now.
love it. I love it.
And the reason, I'm just giving you the backstory of why
Yeah.
I believe, like I don't have all of the data yet, I wish I did, but like 6 months from now, I'll be able to, I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna be like, do this. Because
Yeah.
it's gonna be like next level.
All right, awesome. Let's give it up. Let's go.
Hey, it's Ed again. I hope you enjoyed that little episode with Tommy Powers. And you can see how video is changing the game. You can see how YouTube and integrating YouTube and other channels into whatever you're marketing is really, really powerful. Tommy will be at our Traffic Mastery Live event in Nashville coming up, doing a full keynote, not just 8 to 10 minutes of sharing a couple things. So you'll get to see him go deeper and deeper into that. Which you can check out, obviously, at trafficmasterylive.com. Also, just one quick note, I want to add this, is what a lot of e-commerce brands and what's working really, really well for companies online is that they're either starting their awareness campaigns and their initial introducing products via Facebook, because it's such a huge social platform, the targeting is amazing, and then they retarget primarily utilizing YouTube. Now, what's quickly shifting is that Facebook has become really, really crowded. And so what you're seeing is a lot of brands are testing YouTube earlier as a awareness campaign or awareness opportunity to reach customers earlier in the life cycle on YouTube, because there's so much traffic there and there's so many eyeballs there. So anyhow, I'm just sharing that because it's definitely something that I'm keeping a strong pulse on and bringing the best experts to help with those items. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that. We have many more podcasts coming out. I have an interview with Jesse Itzler about living with the monks coming out. Jesse lived with monks for, I think, 17 or 18 days, wrote a whole book on it. And I'm around Jesse all the time, and I've heard all these stories, and I was listening to his book, Living with the Monk. And if you haven't gotten on Audible yet, check it out. It's pretty fantastic. And I was really impressed with his ability to bring in stories that I've never heard before into a book where I feel like I've heard most of the stories about living with the monk, because I interviewed him. We spent time together. I've seen a couple of his talks. And anyhow, that'll be launching here in the next week or so. So please keep an eye out for it. And yeah, I hope you're awesome. Make it an awesome day. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.